All right, so are you ready for a deep dive into AI stocks?
Let's do it.
We're going to unpack some insights from the Motley Fool about two companies making waves, SoundHound AI and Dell Technologies. What really caught my eye is that both of these companies are down more than 45% from their highs as of March 9th, 2025.
Yeah.
Now the question is this a dip worth dipping into? Is it opportunity? Or is it a huge red flag?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And to answer that, we need to dig a little deeper into each company's story. So let's start with SoundHound AI.
Okay.
They're really at the forefront of voice assistant technology.
Okay.
Think of them as the masterminds behind those smooth interactions you have with your devices these days.
Okay, so they're the brains behind the scenes, but are they just another voice in a crowded market?
Well, that's where things get interesting. So their revenue practically doubled in 2024.
Wow.
And that's partly because they acquired a company called Amelia.
Amelia, tell me more.
So Amelia specializes in conversational AI.
Okay.
And this acquisition is pushing SoundHound beyond just cars and restaurants.
Okay.
They're now dipping their toes into retail, banking, even healthcare. So definitely aiming for a broader reach.
So they're diversifying.
Yes.
That's usually a good sign. But what about that stock dip we talked about? Could that be a cause for concern?
Well, part of that dip was caused by NVIDIA selling off its stake in SoundHound.
NVIDIA, the big AI chip maker. That does sound a little worrisome.
It might seem that way.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They're still collaborating.
Oh.
They're even presenting together at upcoming events like NVIDIA's GTC 2025. So it's not a complete breakup, more like a strategic shift.
Okay, so it's more of a conscious uncoupling than a full-blown divorce. But what does this mean for SoundHound's future prospects?
Well, their future's actually looking pretty good.
Yeah.
They've got a solid pipeline of new opportunities, and they're constantly adding new features to their products. So they're not resting on their laurels, that's for sure.
So they're actively evolving. What about their financials?
Well, they've actually raised their revenue projections for 2025.
Okay.
Aiming for a 96% increase.
A 96% increase, that's a big jump.
It is.
But what about their valuation? Their stock seems a bit pricey, right? With a price-to-sales ratio of 45?
Right.
Are we looking at a potential bubble?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But remember, we're not just talking about any company here. SoundHound is a mid-cap company with a market cap of $4 billion. Imagine what that could grow to in the next decade.
So it's a higher price tag, but potentially higher rewards.
Right.
High risk, high reward, as they say.
Exactly.
What about Dell Technologies? What's their AI story?
Well, you know Dell, right?
Yeah.
They're famous for their PCs.
Sure.
But the really interesting part is that almost half of their revenue comes from infrastructure solutions.
Okay.
Things like servers.
Servers. Aren't those just boring boxes that sit in data centers? What's the excitement about servers in the age of AI?
Well, in the AI world, servers are kind of the unsung heroes.
Okay.
Tech companies are pouring billions into boosting their computing power to handle these huge AI workloads. And guess who's supplying those servers?
Dell.
Exactly. They're like the backbone of the AI revolution.
Oh, wow.
Providing the muscle that AI needs to flex. And here's a number to chew on. Statista estimates that the global AI server market will explode from $31 billion in 2023 to a whopping $430 billion by 2033.
Okay, now those are some numbers that get my attention. But what about Dell stock? It's also been on a bit of a downward slide, hasn't it?
Yes, it's down 46% from its peak in 2024.
Wow.
And another 17% since the start of the year.
Oh.
There are some concerns about trade conflicts and tariffs messing with their supply chain.
So those global tensions are casting a bit of a shadow over their prospects.
Yeah, a little bit. But Dell remains confident in their ability to navigate these challenges. You know, they've been around the block a few times, so they know how to weather these storms.
That experience definitely counts for something. But have they taken any steps to secure their position in the AI market?
Absolutely. Dell just scored a major deal with xAI, the company behind the Grok large language model.
Right.
This deal has pushed their AI server backlog to a staggering $9 billion.
$9 billion. Now, that's what I call a vote of confidence.
For sure.
So they're not putting all their eggs in one basket, which is always a good strategy.
Exactly. Dell is predicting that the market for AI hardware and services will grow by a massive 33% annually.
Wow.
Reaching $295 billion by 2027.
Those are some pretty impressive numbers. What about their stock valuation? Is it as sky high as SoundHound's?
Well, here's the kicker. Dell stock is currently considered a bargain.
Oh.
It's trading at only 10 times its estimated 2025 earnings. Plus, they offer a 2.2% dividend yield.
So we're talking potential growth and some passive income on the side. That's a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm curious, why is the market undervaluing Dell? What are they missing?
That's a great question. And to understand that, we need to take a closer look at how Dell is perceived by investors. They're often seen as this kind of old-school tech company, stuck in the PC era.
Yeah.
But that perception doesn't quite match the reality.
So they're a bit of a hidden gem, perhaps. Well, a sleeping giant in the AI world.
That's one way to put it. They've quietly been building a strong foundation in the AI infrastructure space.
Yeah.
And it's starting to pay off.
So we've got these two companies both betting big on AI, but with very different approaches.
Right.
SoundHound is all about that cutting-edge voice technology, aiming for that direct consumer interaction, while Dell is focusing on the nuts and bolts of AI, providing the power and infrastructure that drives it all.
Exactly.
They're not as flashy, but they're just as essential.
Totally agree with that.
So which strategy is more likely to succeed in the long run?
That's a great question. And to really understand that, we need to delve a little deeper into these companies and their prospects.
It's fascinating to see how both of these companies are taking such different paths to tap into the AI boom. SoundHound, with its focus on voice technology, seems to be targeting a more consumer-facing market. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're right. I think that's a really smart move on their part.
Yeah.
Voice assistants are becoming more and more integrated into our everyday lives, from our smartphones and our smart homes to our cars, even our customer service interactions.
Yeah.
Voice is quickly becoming the go-to interface for a lot of people.
Makes sense. It's definitely more natural and intuitive than typing or clicking. Do you think this trend will continue to grow?
Absolutely. And SoundHound is banking on that.
Okay.
They're betting that voice will become the dominant way we interact with technology in the future.
And so far, they seem to have a pretty solid track record.
Yeah.
They're experiencing rapid revenue growth and expanding into new markets, but can they keep up this momentum?
That's the key question.
Yeah.
While their growth is impressive, it's important to remember that the voice assistant market is becoming incredibly competitive.
Right.
There are some huge players already in the game, like Google, Amazon, Apple, all vying for that top spot.
So SoundHound is facing some stiff competition. How can they realistically carve out their niche and differentiate themselves from these giants?
Well, that's where their focus on innovation and cutting-edge technology comes in.
Okay.
Their acquisition of Amelia was a strategic move to bolster their conversational AI capabilities.
So they're not just building voice assistants that respond to basic commands. They're aiming for something more sophisticated.
Exactly. They're leveraging generative AI to create voice assistants that can engage in more natural and meaningful conversations. They want to build voice assistants that can understand your needs, anticipate your requests, even offer helpful suggestions or advice.
That sounds pretty futuristic. But it also makes sense. The more human-like and intuitive these voice assistants become, the more likely they are to gain widespread adoption. It's like having a personal assistant right in your pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the vision that SoundHound is pursuing. But let's switch gears for a moment and talk about Dell.
Okay.
Their approach to the AI market is completely different.
Yeah.
They're not focused on consumer-facing applications like SoundHound, but rather on the infrastructure that makes AI possible in the first place.
Right. They're providing the servers, the storage, the raw computing power that allows companies to develop and deploy AI solutions at scale. It's like they're the foundation upon which the AI revolution is built.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And as we discussed earlier, the demand for this type of AI infrastructure is skyrocketing.
And for good reason. AI models are becoming increasingly complex, requiring huge amounts of data and processing power to function effectively.
Exactly. And Dell is capitalizing on this trend. They're seeing strong demand for their AI servers and related solutions.
So they're really tapping into a critical need in the AI ecosystem.
They are. And with their long-standing reputation as a reliable provider of enterprise-grade hardware, they're well-positioned to capture a significant chunk of this growing market.
But are they just sticking to traditional servers? Or are they expanding their offerings to keep pace with the rapid evolution of AI?
Oh, they're definitely adapting.
Okay.
They're now offering a whole suite of services and solutions tailored specifically for AI workloads.
Okay.
This includes software, consulting, and support. making them a one-stop shop for companies looking to implement AI solutions.
So they're not just selling the hardware. They're becoming a strategic partner for companies looking to embrace AI.
Precisely. And this comprehensive approach is giving them a competitive edge in the AI infrastructure market.
It's fascinating to see how both SoundHound and Dell are playing such crucial roles in the AI revolution, each in their own way.
It really highlights the diverse nature of the AI landscape and the vast opportunities it presents. Whether you're developing cutting-edge voice technology or providing the infrastructure that powers it all, there's a place for everyone in the AI ecosystem.
And as the AI market continues to evolve and mature, I imagine we'll see even more companies emerge with their own innovative solutions and approaches.
Absolutely. The AI space is constantly changing, and there's always something new to discover and explore.
Right.
And speaking of exploring, I think we've covered quite a bit of ground today, wouldn't you say?
We have. We've delved into the exciting world of AI stocks, taking a deep dive into the stories of SoundHound AI and Dell Technologies.
Right.
We've seen how these two companies are leveraging their strengths to capitalize on the AI boom, each in their own unique way.
We've also weighed the risks and rewards of investing in these companies, looking at factors like market trends, competition, and their financial performance.
And we've gained a deeper understanding of the broader AI landscape, appreciating its vast potential and the diverse range of players involved.
It's been a fascinating journey, but before we wrap up, I'd like to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question.
I'm all ears.
We've talked a lot about how AI is transforming the way we interact with technology.
Right.
But what about the implications for the future of work? How will the rise of AI and automation impact jobs and the skills needed to thrive in this new landscape?
That's a critical question, and one that we need to consider carefully as AI becomes more integrated into our lives. AI is poised to reshape industries and redefine the nature of work itself.
Yeah, it is a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the one hand, AI has the potential to automate tasks and, boost efficiency and even create new jobs that we can't even imagine yet.
Right.
But on the other hand, there are concerns about job displacement and the need for workers to adapt and acquire new skills to stay relevant in this, evolving job market.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to be aware of these trends and to start thinking about how we can prepare ourselves for the future of work.
We need to focus on developing skills that complement AI rather than trying to compete with it.
So things like creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, and emotional intelligence will become even more valuable in the age of AI.
Absolutely.
Right.
Those are the skills that will set humans apart from machines.
Right.
AI might be able to crunch numbers and analyze data faster than us.
Yeah.
But it can't replicate human ingenuity and our ability to connect with each other on an emotional level.
So it's not just about learning how to code or operate AI systems.
Right.
It's about cultivating those uniquely human skills that will allow us to thrive in a world where AI is, increasingly prevalent.
Precisely. And that's something for all of us to think about.
Yeah.
Whether we're investors, workers, or simply curious about the future.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into AI stocks, it's clear that we're not just talking about financial investments. We're talking about investments in the future, both in terms of technology and in terms of human potential.
Well said. And while we focused on SoundHound AI and Dell Technologies today, remember that these are just two examples of the many companies shaping the AI landscape.
Yeah.
There are countless others out there, innovating and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's an exciting time to be following the AI revolution, and it's only going to get more interesting from here.
I agree.
So stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring. Who knows what amazing breakthroughs await us in the years to come?
That's right. The future of AI is full of possibilities. And as we've learned today, by understanding the companies driving this innovation, we can gain valuable insights into the forces shaping our world.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey.
Thanks for having me.